Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing this evening? I'm just going to give you guys a simple weather update. And we got a triple clipper coming in. That is 3 quick pop and hit storms that are going to hit over a period of a week. And as all the meteorologists were mentioning today, a lot of them got their northeast precipitation models wrong on the storm I was talking about, I think 10 days ago. It didn't do as much damage as I thought, though it was the most accurate, I think. I don't know, there's not an accuracy game, I'm just saying. There's no reason to undersell any storm. So I'm letting you guys know, we got 3 hits coming, and the weather has been showing the ability to give us increasing variables that add more precipitation than guessed in places we hadn't thought we would see them. So let us factor that in. And also, I might be extra crazy because I can feel the eclipse energy. The moon, she's glowing and colorful. And she's almost got like a ball of light around her. That is beautiful. And La Luna is in Orion's right hand right now. So, if I'm acting a bit too quixotic, well, let it be. And then let us look at the situation we got going on over in the North Pacific by Alaska. We're going to watch what looks like a giant, massive, biggest hurricane we've ever seen of moisture. Now, how it works, sometimes the moisture just gets pulled up into Canada and then disappears, and a lot of it ends up down through the Four Corners and then into the southwest and then up to the east. And so, seeing the size of the rain bands as your rain man continue to increase now, like the stock market at faster, higher levels, there is more reason to pay attention. And the moon has been injecting me with romantic energy, which can be dangerous, can lead to a big romantic hangover. But on this surfing the wave of feeling good and allowing to think that, yes, we do have a future, and it might be really bright. Because evil may have peaked on the August 21st, 2017 eclipse. So every eclipse now is a step down from the reign of evil. So, that's the thing. The cool people, the smart people, the people who are like, let's improve everything, they're not bound to the same structures that the old group were. So, you can improve things pretty fast. And Donald Trump, in his speech tonight, I try to stay neutral and objective the whole time. I don't believe in either political party, but his Davos speech was the most presidential I'd ever seen, and then this was a pretty presidential speech. And so I got excited when I heard he mentioned coming up with a $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Because I was the guy who told y'all before last year started, we're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure damage. And then I noted it the entire year in video for all of y'all. And so that's just the start. And yes, of course, Americans can always screw things up. That's what we're good at. And then figuring out how to blame once we screwed it up. But like I said, we may be stepping down from those days of perpetual failure for profit. So I sure am tired of these perpetual failure for profit days, man. So, we're going to have some major situations. I'm pretty sure we're going to face some major tests over the next year between now and 2020. And so it's time for everybody to step up their game. We got to start some hurricane clubs. And it's better if everybody prepares on how to be a first responder or a second responder. So I don't know if you look at the images I'm holding up here on the screen, but this situation over here, trust me, as a guy who's done this for like 2 or 3 years, and literally in those 2 or 3 years, my living, rent, all my bills, everything has depended on donations and contributions from y'all. I've been talking about the weather the whole time. So, my at least observations on the weather have been so good. They've been keeping me just doing this for like 2 or 3 years. So, when I'm telling you that from all my OCD, super genius observations about these rain bands, I started talking about little bacon strips that were at best 75% of the length of the United States. And now we're talking levels that, especially when they wrap in their double infinity 88 loop symbol, you know, we're talking 12,000 mile rain bands, man. And if those ever track over individual areas, we need to be very prepared. So, Dada Boo had mentioned earlier that if you do not have a significant other, you may want to find yourself a warm cuddle buddy on New Year's Day, because it is going to be cold. Beth Carpenter from TDS Weather. Why are you freaking out on me now? We're going to see the models now. And remember, they haven't been that accurate. I mean, they've been changing and underselling as a, what should we call it, a trend. So we're looking at some pretty, hold on. I think that's going to give me Tourette's. Oh, crap. Booger crackers? No. But look. Wow. Why is it doing that? I do not know. All right, here's a good one anyway. By John Homenook. While GEFS tends to overdo 2-meter temperature anomalies, the duration and breadth of Arctic cold that unloads into the USA in February is extremely impressive and worth paying attention to. And from all the guys I follow on the wonderful weather Twitter, a lot of the long-term projections based off climatology has shown a pretty possibly cold and possibly super stormy period for February, and I would guess the Ides of March. And so we could see some cold snaps, some blocking, some flooding, some freezing, because we're going to have another on those storms that we were watching. We're going to have that pretty crazy situation where you're going to have super cold, freezing weather following, you know, a pretty warm storm that would be in the 40s to 60s, which creates some extremely interesting problems. In the videos I'd made earlier when I could edit in parts of like Boston that flooded and then froze instantly. So it was like entire car parking lots turned into giant strips of popsicles. If you could eat cars like Godzilla or whatever. Yeah, so Texas and the Southwest really get ready for more snow, more rain, more sleet. That looks like a really nasty storm, by the way. So yeah, the next week, it's going to be interesting. And it's going to be stormy. I'm pretty sure that most of the pros, because it's not a professional forecast, this is just me, Star-Lord New Thor 7, telling you what the deal is. So yeah, everybody's got to cut out the hateful rhetoric, because that prevents us finding common ground issues and then having those issues that would benefit us all prospering. I believe the best way to phrase it is by being cool and staying cool. And realizing, just like that one meme on the internet, where the guy sitting in the room on fire, he's like, this is fine, it's fine. We're all in this together. And we're going to have to make some major changes to the way we've been doing things. And I recognize a lot of people don't like changes. But if you're watching the storms and you're watching the trends, life is like a video game, but totally different. And we can either choose to play or passively aggressively make a subconscious choice together to just say, hey, we'll take the Thelma and Louise game over, man. You know what I'm saying? If we could cut out the hateful, angry people who are so willing to throw other people into the volcanoes and let the sane, kind-hearted, smart, good, talented people do what they do, we could make it out of this mess. Almost. No problems. Of course there would be problems and snafus, but there would just be challenges we would meet, man. Like, we've gotten to the edge of history. And, I mean, and destruction of mankind falling into the dustbin of all we've known so many times. You know what saved us every time? The human spirit. Poetry, kindness, good people, sanity, prevailing after people thought all hope was lost. As a Christian, let me remind you, pretty much for like 1800 years, every single Christian literally thought Jesus was coming and the world was ending during their lifetime. What is that? How many generations is that? It's like 35 generations, man. 35 generations were totally sure the end was going to happen when they were alive, and the King of Kings was going to return when they were alive. So the idea of just saying, oh, I'm going to get raptured, or the end times are here, so we ain't got to work together because, my ticket's been punched. That seems like an excuse to not help and to not make the world a better place, when we'd have to fight hard to keep it as it is now. And I think we all agree it can be way better than this. Okay, stay cool. God bless everyone. I'm going to go walk around under the moon, I guess, soak up some of this romantic moonlight. And y'all stay cool. And I want to thank you for sticking with me and keeping kindness, love, hope, family, friends alive, and civilization still standing. If you let the cool kids run the show, things can be really cool, man. That's just how it goes. And, the negative people who are like, oh my God, the boogeyman. The boogeyman hadn't killed us yet. So I'm tired of worrying about the boogeyman. All right. Y'all have a good eclipse, and I invite you over the next 24 hours. If you start to feel negative waves, try and do something creative. Go paint, go draw, ride a bicycle. Yeah, that is creative. Go for a walk, nature, play with animals. Just do something to reconnect with the world outside of the digital world. Cool? All right. Stay cool, and I will try to do the same. Peace out.